is your product. This is Adobe Premiere 4.2, and now they're on Adobe Premiere Pro plus 5 million or whatever. I don't know what they're on now, but they said, wow, this is really cool. We don't have screenshots of this stuff. All we have is what was in the documentation. So I actually had to send them all my screenshots for their own archive. So I guess just goes to show how old the technology was. But Machinima started before us. I like to say we kind of invented it on our own on the side because I didn't know that Machinima existed. Matt went out to LA to work on horrible movies like Driven and Scooby-Doo. You know, he was like the guy who like animated the hair on Scrappy-Doo or something like that. I don't know what he did. And so I was stuck in Austin, and I knew two guys. One guy's name is G-Funk, Jeff Fink, and the other guy was Gus Cirola. And they had a site called Drunk Gamers, which was all about getting drunk and playing video games. And the purpose of that site, the whole like the mission statement as a company was get free video games. And I think after a year, they got Blinks the Time Sweeper for the Xbox, and that was it. And that was their big score. And I guess the video game companies didn't really see the value in drunk guys pushing the products. And so I started writing for them. And I was writing for the Xbox section of Drunk Gamers. And if you were an Xbox fan in the first year that it came out, you were a Halo fan. And that was pretty much it. I mean, Halo was the title. And anything I wrote about anything else for the Xbox section, everybody said, more Halo, more Halo. Well, I had this non-linear editor laying around, this computer that I had built. And so I started capturing gameplay footage from Halo. And I started trying to make the gameplay videos a little more humorous to match in with crazy stunts. We try to get to a level in a different place. Things you're probably used to. It's what they call recam machinima. You take native gameplay footage, and you put just a little bit of a different twist on it. So I thought, maybe there's a way we can make this a little funnier. And then one day I had what I basically call a red versus blue moment, was where I took the gameplay footage, recorded directly out of the game, letterboxed it, so it covered up the gun that's at the bottom of the frame, put a top letterbox so it covered the score and the ammo information. And before I knew it, I had something that was actually a cinematic image. And we could lay audio over the top of it, write humorous dialogue. Oh, what do you think is humorous dialogue? and then put it online. And I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to start you off with actually a piece that's not ours. I'd like to show you a great machinima piece. I'm going to show you a great machinima piece that I think really illustrates what machinima is all about. And this is called My Trip to Liberty City. And it's based in the Sony PlayStation game. Or not, it's about everything else, but it's based in the game Grand Theft Auto 3. And I'll let you kind of go along here. It's kind of self-explanatory.
Okay. This is just some of the video from my trip to Liberty City. Yeah, I heard so much about the place. It was written up in newspaper after newspaper. It's a place where the game Grand Theft Auto 3 is set. I actually had a pretty good experience the first day. Ran into a little bit of work. A fellow gave me some money just to drop a girlfriend of his. The next day I show up and he had a kind of more dubious kind of mission for me.
And introduce a bat to his face, then take his car, betray it. I want compensation for this insult.
You know, I just didn't feel like it. I mean, it was a great day. It was beautiful out. The sun was shining, and I don't even play baseball, much less want to kill someone with a baseball bat. So, I felt like maybe I sort of misled him because I was kind of, I looked like a thug. The default player skin is a thug. So I decided to change it to something that was like a little bit more reflective. This is the Canadian tourist skin. It has a big grin and a camera, and there's a lot of talk about all the cars in Grand Theft Auto and all this kind of thing, but I never feel like getting into a car is the best way to see a city. I feel like if you really want to see it, then you should just walk around, get to know it a little bit on foot. Like for instance here, I found this little nook in an alley, just just went down the alley on a hunch, and sure enough, there's a stairwell there, and you see it leads right up to this beautiful rooftop. It's something I never would have found in a car, you know. And rooftops have a special place in my heart, and obviously the game designers' hearts as well, because they put a lot of effort into making it, you know, it's kind of a tribute, I feel, to urban spaces, things in Grand Theft Auto, including this rooftop.
Round of applause there. It goes on for a while. Like a lot of things on the internet, the premise is fantastic, and then it goes probably a little bit longer than it should have. Like our whole series. But I love that. I really do. I spend so much time playing video games. I played video games my whole life. And as games become more immersive, and these 3D technologies for real-time animation become so robust, and we have these great environments that these very talented people spend all this time making, it's just amazing to me. And I love the exploration of virtual spaces. And I'm not talking about just the persistent ones, like Second Life or World of Warcraft and things like that. Although those are amazing. If you consider the age at which people start to play video games, I'm sure there are many teenagers in America that can navigate Azeroth better than they can navigate their own hometown. You know, they can find their way to shops and things like that. If you put them in the car and say go to the mall, they go, Mom, you know. But I love that. I love the virtual spaces. I love to look at how many of you are CS students or technology students? Any film students in here? At all? Oh, yeah, me too. I hear you. I got called out. They did something similar at SUT. I went to a film class. They said, the lecturer said, where's my engineering student? Where? And I said, I'm an engineering student. He said, there's always one engineer like hiding. Yeah, film class. They're scared. I actually switched when I went to school, I didn't think you could make money in computers. I like computers too much to think, wow, it doesn't seem like it's viable. And then the internet came along in '95. I was a student at UT, and so I switched from pre-medicine. I was going to be a doctor. You're welcome for me switching majors. But so then I switched to computer science, and so I did have a lot of spare time at the university because not a lot of stuff transfers to computer science from biology. So I actually, if you look at my transcript, I look like the biggest dork ever because I have like organic chemistry as an elective, and we used to. But when we look at if you break it down like as a technology dissection, what a video game is. I mean, this is what we think of when we think of video games. This is Halo 2 on Vanderbilt. And this is, it's a massive game. People run around, getting kicked out of vehicles. You're running around, but if you just kind of stop and step back from a video game, think, what is a video game? What is it? What is this thing? What it is a program. It's a program that creates a virtual world for you on the fly, at your whim. It's interactive. However you want to choose to interface with the world, within, of course, certain limits, you can interface with the world. But what we think of as the game is actually something that's separate from the technology. There's rules in the technology that help support the game. But really the game is some other construct that's just laying on top of this piece of technology. And you can choose to not play this game. You can choose to not take part in this piece of technology, this piece of software. You can say, I'm not going to do that.